I vowed to myself, I said, you know what? Next time I see somebody being like aggressive or like a real, like really angry, I'm just going to offer them a hug. So universe delivers, man. Look out. So 3 hours later, I'm coming out of getting like lunch and I'm walking down the street. There's a man on a bicycle being assaulted by a very violent person. And it's one of those scenes where I'm walking down the street and everybody between me and the situation clears off of the sidewalk and is running across the street.
Yeah.
This man is like trying to drag this guy off the bicycle. He's hitting him. Finally, the guy on the bike gets away. And the man who is, assaulting this guy just starts yelling at everyone. Like, he's just like, I'll kill all y'all, like, come on. He's just ready, and there's nobody between me and this dude. And I'm like, guess that's a guy I'm here to hug today.
Yeah. Jesus.
And so he's walking towards me, threatening my life. And I just walk calmly towards him, and he's maybe like 100 feet away, like walking towards me. And I just say like, hey man, would you like a hug? And he looks at me, and it's just the confusion on his face in that moment. She's like, what'd you say? And I was like, I said, would you like a hug? And he just looks at me and he just goes, it's like his everything, all the tension in his body just completely release.
Yeah.
And he just goes, hell yeah, I want a hug. And we just ran at each other and we just hugged it out.
That's awesome.
And he just started crying. I put my hand on his heart. I was like, I love you, man. It's all right. And he was like, I don't want to be like my father. My father was an alcoholic. I want to be good to my son. And he was drunk, and he's like, I don't want to be like him. He's like, I'm sorry. And I was just like, bro, I got you, man. Let's, we just like hung out and hugged it out and told me a little bit about his story and what he wants to do with his life. And yeah. And then I said goodbye. It's funny. Like he was so psyched, and he went to pick me up. He grabbed me like by my thighs, picked me up. This is a big dude. Yeah. Picked me up in the air. I'm like there, like 12 feet in the air or whatever. And he's still a little drunk. And we're standing on the side of the street. And we just fall over into the middle of the street. And like, so happy there weren't cars there. Thanks, plants. And so now he's on that same corner where he previously wanted to kill me. And everyone was running away from him. And now it's like a whole group, a new group of people. Yeah. And he's now laying there like a little bit bruised up. And he's sitting there. And now everybody's coming up to him. Oh my God, are you okay? Like, oh my God, can I get you something? It's just like completely shifted the whole thing. And I was like, wow, yeah. So, okay. So then fast forward like a few hours later. And I go to hang with my parents, and like first thing I like open the door, and like before anything is like it was like I was just like a ninja, where it was just like there was no way he was gonna not see me. It was just like eye contact is like, this is mine. I went for the kill, just like, Dad, hi, I love you, and I gave him a hug. And because I had just gone, the universe like delivered the huge challenge to me. Like, well, yeah, I guess if you're not gonna hug your dad, we'll give you this guy to hug first. So yeah, it was cool too, because it was like he was surprised, and it was just like, oh, all right, it was funny. So.
How did your dad respond?
He didn't like, it wasn't like, it wasn't transformative, or it was just like a matter of fact. It was just like, just give your dad. My dad, I might still have a story, but I don't feel like my dad has like, he's not like, comes from a different generation, and it's just like, I think he definitely was more in like hippie kind of vibes in the 60s and 70s, but that physical reception, it's not like, he's not as much that guy.
Yeah.
And I think that I let that story get in the way of giving physical affection
Sure.
with my dad. And now I'm just like, all right, dude, just giving you a hug. Yeah.
And how did it feel for you in that moment?
Oh, it felt like a relief, mostly because
now you can talk to beautiful women.
Yeah, I guess it just felt good because it just released any kind of charge. And and I think what I learned from it was how I can, I'm always bringing loving energy into a situation.